Now, for those of you who view my content regularly, you guys know that I'm not a big fan of people making unsubstantiated claims or making claims in general without a lot of information to back it. That type of stuff really is the main theme of my content. I don't like it when people lie. I don't like it when people misrepresent information. I don't really like it when people try to take things out of context or attempt to recontextualize information to fit their own means. Now, let me brief you all for those of you who don't know, but recently there's been this VTuber named Froot or Apricot, if I recall correctly, and she's been getting in a lot of fire because people just don't like the fact that she allegedly cheated on her ex-husband, quote unquote, after she released a 90-page document, which I did read and upload, by the way. And after reading all 90 pages of that document, I came to the conclusion that while Apricot or Froot may not be the greatest person, there's not really a lot to substantiate the hate that she's been getting in regards to this document. So people were looking in this document, some people only read a brief amount of it, some people only looked at it and ran with the conclusion that because she cheated, she is the worst person on earth without actually looking into the details of the document. One of these people being Asmongold. Now, before I get into the meat of this video, I do want to say that this isn't to defend or excuse or attempt to absolve any community-based drama Froot has had in the past. The point of this video, and the last one, is to explore and examine potential miscontextualized or misrepresented information or lack thereof. It is to properly and appropriately determine the level of severity Froot should have received for this quote-unquote drama, not to lambast her and dogpile her for things in the past. This is entirely isolated in this case, at least for me. I'll explain as I go along. Now getting right into Asmongold and how he relates to this situation. In a privated video, he had this to say.
And people actually, there were apparently a dozen or so people that actually read all 90 pages. And after they looked into it, they found out that in fact, she was the one that had cheated on her husband while he was on deployment. So if you look at the engagements here, let's read some of these. And I'd be pretty mad too if my wife fucked 5 different men instead of me. She put out a twit longer begging for attention and looking for you know, approval for cheating on her fucking husband. It's crazy.
Now, this is going to sound a little bit nitpicky. When you talk about a situation like this, it's very important to actually look into what you're talking about, to actually do the research on what you're referring to, because simply saying that a dozen or so people read the document and found out that this girl actually cheated is not entirely correct, because these people evidently did not actually read the document. He also says they in fact found out that she cheated. First and foremost, that's not true. Nobody actually found out per the document that she cheated on somebody. That's not a fact. That's just a rumor. That's just an allegation. And if you actually read the document, you would understand that this person in the document that she allegedly cheated on is possibly not the most honest or the most genuine, down-to-earth guy that people would like to assume him to be. This person in this document is completely unhinged, a complete lunatic. Now, this is going to sound cringe, I understand, but for people like me, who actually do the research or attempt to do the research to find out more about situations like these, it actually brings into question the credibility of the first person that even threw out these allegations. Now, this person claimed that Froot was cheating, but based on what we're seeing in this document, these text messages, the level of unhinged insanity displayed by this individual, who's to say that this person who initially made these allegations is even a reliable narrator? Now, that's not to say that the boyfriend is lying. Maybe he is telling the truth, but that's just to say that maybe the extent of severity that people are applying here is not entirely justified due to a misconception, a miscontextualization, or a misrepresentation of information. Like, for example, we don't actually know the extent of how she cheated. We actually don't even know whether this person was actually cheated on while he was on deployment. We don't know that information. These are all assumptions based on he said, she said. Now, let me reiterate something. This video isn't to defend her. It's not even supposed to be on VTuber drama because, frankly, I don't care about VTuber drama. It's to discuss dishonesty or misinterpretation of information. Now, I'm not claiming that Asmongold was being intentionally dishonest or had a malicious disregard for the truth or anything complicated like that. I'm just saying that if you're going to discuss situations like these, it's really important to do a little bit of due diligence and research so that you don't end up propagating a disproportionate amount of unnecessary hate or punishment on somebody where the large majority of people don't actually understand what they're looking at. Again, this isn't really a conversation about Froot from Vshojo. It's not about that at all. It's more so about actually talking about things that you know about, that you have done research on, so that you don't make a mistake like this and send an unnecessary an inappropriate amount of punishment to someone that doesn't deserve it. Sure, this isn't a defamatory case where people are throwing about unsubstantiated claims of pedophilia or abuse or something like that, but there really should be a level of integrity and honesty when you're a creator as large as Asmongold. Do your research first before mindlessly spouting the opinions of people on Twitter who most of the time don't even actually know what they're talking about. Now that we're on the topic of research, ironically enough, I did some digging into Froot after some people insisted that I was being too lenient on Froot and that I should have been more harsh in my video going over her documents. Let me be very clear. Within this isolated incident, Froot facing this level of backlash for this document is particularly unfair to her, especially when people like Asmongold just say shit without substantiation. Additionally, when we look into the history of Froot, there's a lot of hate people throw her way for saying slurs and stuff for this silver barrel drama, but genuinely, a lot of this drama is incredibly outrage bullshit that people have gotten hypersensitive for because of pearl clutchy behavior. Me personally, I don't care that she said a slur. There's worse things that I cover on this channel that I'm more inclined to care about, such as people defaming other people. It's just so at the bottom of the list about things that are actually bad. I look at things rationally here. I'm not gonna get emotionally invested in these things. I don't care that Froot, a home isolating social outcast per her descriptions in that document, quote unquote, threw Silvervale under the bus, when in reality, all she did was just avoid associating with a game for disagreeing with the social politics behind it. Me personally, I find that cringe. You shouldn't shame a game or feel ashamed for playing a game just because of the political discourse behind it. There's also these allegations that she scammed her fans. Again, the evidence people used to make this claim at best show that Froot was just bad at running a business and didn't deliberately attempt to scam her audience, and she even attempted to offer refunds. Based on that information, that's not enough for me to claim that she was definitively malicious. I need significantly more evidence than that, such as proof that she was intentionally withholding refunds. There's also this drama regarding a charity known as Mermaids, a charity that when looked into has been investigated for being particularly malicious. Again, this is something incredibly ludicrous to hate on Froot for. This really could have just been an unfortunate case of looking at a popular charity, saying you want to donate to it without being fully informed. At worst, you could criticize her like I'm criticizing Asmongold for not doing a bit of research, but this is not enough to substantially hate on her for. Additionally, there is another VTuber known as Antheim, who is known for being a demonstrably uncredible source of information that uses mostly hearsay and recontextualized screenshots of information to paint Froot more malicious than she really is, which is something that I'm hugely against. I hate miscontextualized information and just overall hit pieces, and allegedly based on other reports, Antheim was going to expose Froot for sexting others, leaking her nudes, but after all of that unfolded, those nudes were apparently deepfaked. This not only brings into question the credibility of the people who are hating on this person, but it also brings into question their regard for informational integrity. This person was allegedly planning to leak sex and nudes of someone. That's illegal. Why would you even want to leak someone's very private and personal information to prove that Froot is cheating? Yes, cheating is bad. Yes, in terms of your own private life and relationship, that is something that can't be forgiven in most cases, but this isn't any of our business. We're not going to be in a relationship with this person. I don't think this person deserves to be canceled or have this level of outrage coming her way for things that are unfortunately just common negative things that happen in people's lives. My conclusion is, yeah, Froot may be a cringe loser that sits in a room all day talking to other losers on the internet, but the person she cheated on is evidently a nutcase that never deserved to be in a relationship based on those text messages. I'm just saying, this is somebody that tried repeatedly pressuring and guilt-tripping this woman into providing a sex act that she simply just didn't consent to. That being said, VTubers and that entire community, you guys are all cringe. That's all I got for today. Later.